Rev up your engines! Hey, if your vehicle's starting to look kind of old and aged, why spend a fortune buying a new one when you can upgrade your old vehicle relatively inexpensively, make it look good as new, and save yourself a ton of money? They're going to show you a couple upgrades you can do on a Toyota Tacoma as an example that are easy to do. Look at this cool smoky taillight. Look at this ugly original one. Well, here's how easy it is to change out. Just drop the tailgate, take a couple bolts off, and the cylinder just pops out. You can see there's little poppers here, you gotta pull them. Okay, wasn't that easy? Then in this setup, it's as easy as just taking out a bulb and squeezing it. This thing's always hard to squeeze, and I'm getting old. Take that out of the way. There we go. That comes out. Then since this is LED, you can see this just pops right in here. Pops in this way. That goes in, and then it just snaps in here. Then we just do the same thing with the middle one and the bottom one. We plug this one in here till it snaps. There we go. That snapped in. We'll plug that in, and we'll do the bottom one. Unplug the bottom one. That one's stuck. That's a backup light. Cold day and it's cold plastic. Pair of pliers. Sometimes these things will stick. Gotta squeeze them real hard. There. That's done. As you can see, that plugs in there. We snap it back in, and voila! We just put these back in their little holes. The important that you push them back in because you don't want water getting in. Well, I messed up this one because it's got to go on the inside. There, you got to unplug that, plug it back in, and stick it in the hole. And the same thing for the bottom one. Cold day, my fingers aren't working that good, okay? In it goes. Twisted and it's locked in place. Then this baby will just snap back in the hole and bolt back in place. You want them snug. You don't want to break the plastic. You just want them snug. Right? Look at the difference already, right? When they're turned off, look how much better that looks, and God, how much cooler it is. Check it out. Look at the difference. Hey. That is really cool. Now we'll do the other side. Same thing. Twirl them off, put them on. So. And out we go. Plug them in. The bottom one's a backup light. That snaps in. Middle one is the brake light and setup. Take that out. Snap that in. And the top one. Take that off. Take the bulb out and snap that one in. And we just snap it in. Line up these two holes. One hole. There's the other hole. And bolt it back in. One on the top. One on the bottom. Check it out. You wouldn't even think it's the same truck. Now here's where I found them on Amazon. There's all the information. Now there's only 2 reviews now because it's a new product. One guy loved it, one guy hated it. The guy who hated it said, oh, well, it's not plug and play. Well, to me, it's plug and play. All you got to do is take the bulb out, plug it in there, and then put the bulb connector back in. As you saw, it's a very easy thing. I kind of call that plug and play, you know. But I guess that guy didn't like that, and he whined about this and that. To me, they look beautiful. They fit perfectly fine. He said the bolts wouldn't go in. The bolts went in perfectly fine. I'm satisfied with it. Just realize, of course, there are hundreds of Chinese companies selling these things, and they're all made in China with LEDs. These work perfectly fine now. If there's any problems in the future, I'll tell you. I had no problems putting it in. And my daughter-in-law uses this truck for work all the time, so it's going to have the heck beat out of it. We'll see how it goes on as time goes on. I gotta say, it was no problem putting it in. And to me, it's plug and play. So you plug it where the bulb was instead of plugging it on the outside. It still plugs right into the system. You don't have to splice wires or anything, but everybody always likes to complain about something. One guy hated it, one guy liked it. Well, I like it, so there's a million others you can choose from too if you want. So let's move on to the side. Kind of boring. Would look a lot better with running boards, like the fancy ones I put on my son's Toyota four-wheel drive TRD. Hey, they look beautiful. Look at those things. Well, if you don't want to spend a small fortune, hey, here's some economy ones. We'll see what they look like. Now, these come from the same company, Super Drive USA, as the fancy ones did, but they cost a lot less. And just like the fancy ones, they're pre-drilled to fit a Toyota Tacoma. As you can see right here, there's a couple of plugs. You unscrew them. You go to the side view mirror and then go under, and the plugs are here. You just unscrew them, and the front bracket just bolts up in there. Little impact. Get them on tight. There's a couple of the plastic bolts in here. Take them out. It's cool that Toyota has the stuff already drilled out. There's the two of them. Middle one on. All the way back. There's the back two. Unscrew those. Then this fits over the top. And these little bolts slip in and bolt on. These just slide in, and then we're going to bolt them here. But we're going to put all of them in first before we bolt anything on. And here we go. Bolt the rest of the bottom on. Got nice long running boards here. Nice and solid. And of course now we got to do the other side. And there we go. So why buy another vehicle just because yours is looking outdated? Hey, update it yourself with cool new taillights and some nice running boards. Especially if you buy something that lasts as long as a Toyota Tacoma, you might get tired of the way it looks. Heck, update it. There's so much aftermarket stuff for these, it would make your head spin. Spend a little bit of money and update your vehicle instead of spending a whole bunch of money and buying a brand new one when there's tons of life left in your old vehicle. And here's some bonus questions and answers. Joaquin Martinez says, Scotty, I got an 07 Nissan Quest 3.5. I can't go higher than 2,000 RPM, won't go past 20 miles an hour. Fuel pump, igniter, ignition coil, fuel injectors, test okay. Do you think the fuel damper could be bad? I don't think so. Okay, you got a Nissan, and it won't go over 2,000 RPM, right? Past 20 miles an hour. I can just about guarantee you got a clogged catalytic converter. That's the typical thing that happens. All you got to do is get a mechanic, or if you're a mechanic and a client, take the oxygen sensor off, the one before the catalytic converter, put a pressure gauge. There should be no pressure at all, maybe half a pound pressure, whatever. You got 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 or more PSI, your catalytic converter's clogged, and that's what happens to Nissans all the time. The only other thing would be your fuel pump tests. Okay, I don't know who tested it, how they tested it. They might not have tested right, but if they tested it right, you got a clogged catalytic converter. I see that so many times. So just for a simple test yourself, I'm sure you probably do not have an exhaust back pressure gauge like I have, right? Get another person's car, start it up, put your hand at the back of the exhaust when it's cold. You'll feel pressure. Then go to your car and feel the same pressure. And if that pressure in the other car was a lot more and yours has only a little pressure coming up, your catalytic converter's clogged up. I see it all the time in Nissan. So High Burp says, Scotty got a 1987 Ford F-150, 126,000 miles. Looking to sell it. What should I put it up for? Well, the thing is, that is a collector's item. I don't know what kind of shape the body is in. If it's a typical Ford and it lived up north, it's going to be all rotten away and it's not worth much money, right? Let's say it's in Texas and it has no rust at all. If I were you, I'd put it in classic car and truck magazines and online. See what you can get for it. See what other people are asking for it, because that is a collector's item. F-150s, and they can last basically forever. But it all depends on what shape it's in, right? If it's kind of falling apart, well, then it's a case for somebody to rebuild it, and you're not going to get all that much. But if it's in really good shape, people love those things, especially if it's a Southern car or a New Mexico car, a place where it doesn't rust. Ivy Catholic says, what are your thoughts on paying $25,000 for a new Mazda CX-30? All right, those are decent vehicles. Mazda has been going up in quality. Take Honda, unfortunately, they've been going down, but Mazda's been going up. And the price of an average car in the United States, brand new, is now $45,000. If you can get one of those for $25,000, brand new, and you like it, go right ahead. The big reason I see my own customers buy that particular vehicle is because they like it. And they would rather have a RAV4, but they'd rather save $15,000 to $20,000. So they buy the Mazda, and they're generally pretty happy with the Mazda. TDX Holder LP says, Scotty, which 2024 4Runner is best to buy, SR5 or SR5 Premium? All right. Well, I'd buy the SR5. I don't buy high-end stuff because, to me, it's a waste of money. If I want something, I'll put it in myself. I'm not going to pay a bunch of money for some fancy stereo stuff. I'll get a $150 Android pumpkin like I have in the Matrix and put it in myself, and it'll do everything I want, and it's dirt cheap. You said 2024, right? That's one reason a lot of people buy used cars. They would rather have the fancy version, but they don't want to pay the extra money. Well, when somebody's selling a used vehicle, hey, there's the vehicle. It's got the stuff already on it, and you're not going to get much more money for it. It's kind of like a lot of people that don't understand real estate. They'll put a swimming pool in their yard, and they're like, oh, that'll increase the value. I spent $80,000 putting a swimming pool in, right? Then when they go to sell the house, nobody wants to buy it because a lot of people do not want the hassle of cleaning and taking care of a swimming pool. If you don't want to go luxury, get used. In that case, I'd go with a less premium one. They're the same basic vehicle anyways. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.